First, before I start this video, I want to put out a really big disclaimer. I don't have any proof or factual information that any of the procedures that I'm talking about have been done by specific models. Now, because I have had a lot of plastic surgery, usually I can tell the telltale signs, but that doesn't mean that I know 100%. These are just very informed guesses, observation. But again, big disclaimer, I don't have any proof. And also, I promise you, I am not hating on these women. I think they are absolutely beautiful with the procedures, without the procedures. And the hard truth is that most of these women have not had anything done. They are just naturally beautiful and perfect. Gabrielle. Just kidding. But there's a couple who it is a little bit more obvious that maybe they've had a little bit of help, which I don't see any problem with. And the reason that I'm making this video too is so that for you at home looking at these, beautiful celebrities and models and feeling like they're these unrealistic beauty standards, the truth is that a lot of these celebrities have had these procedures so that they can look like that. So it's not that you are not already beautiful and perfect, which by the way, regardless of what your body type is or what your face looks like, you are already absolutely beautiful and perfect. But you know that if you wanted to look like that, you absolutely could. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be extremely expensive. I mean, you could save up every penny, but technically this is something that you could do if you really wanted to look like that.
Yeah, you picked that nose, girl.
And if you're curious what kind of plastic surgery I've had, then stick around till the end because we're gonna get into that. So that being said, Victoria's Secret has come under extreme heat the last few years because of the incredibly crazy beauty standards that they have for their models. And I don't know if you remember, but there was a time a couple years ago when Kendall Jenner was first walking the Victoria's Secret runway. Kendall Jenner, who literally is like a stick, she is this big. I remember on the cover it was like, Kendall Jenner too fat to walk in Victoria's Secret or something like that. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like Kendall Jenner, and the fact that she had to lose weight to continue modeling with them is just beyond me. And a lot of former models have come forward saying the same thing, saying that they have the Victoria's Secret doctor who will prescribe them Adderall, which Adderall, by the way, is a medication that's typically used for ADHD. But some of the side effects are that it will curb your appetite, you're just not hungry. So a lot of people will use it off-label, kind of sketchy, to not be hungry so they don't eat. And I'm actually really embarrassed to admit this, but when I was in college, I might have exaggerated the symptoms of my focus and concentration issues in school because I had friends who were using Adderall to lose weight and they looked so good. So I started doing Adderall and it definitely worked. I mean, I wasn't really eating that much because I just wasn't hungry, but the side effects were really bad. I mean, I just felt like I had headaches. I would get like the jitters all the time because I was really shaky, and my body started just becoming really slow and unfocused because I wasn't getting the nutrients I needed. So after a couple of months, I quickly stopped because it was just not worth it for me. But aside from the Adderall, I know there are also models who talked about eating 1 apple a day leading up to the VS Runway show. There's another one who talked about not drinking water for like 2 days so that she didn't have any like bloating in her stomach, which, oh my gosh, it sounds miserable. But even with all of these crazy tactics, that's not always what's gonna get these models to the point of looking like that. That's why I believe that many of the Victoria's Secret models have had HD liposuction. Now, typically when you think of lipo, at least for me, I would always think of like moms who had babies and were in their 40s and 50s and were trying to get their body back and their skin was really stretched out, and it was more of like a makeover. But actually, when it comes to HD liposuction, it's targeted toward women who are already very thin, but they just have little pockets of fat or areas where they feel like there's not enough muscle definition. And they've done all they could with, exercise, dieting, but still they're not exactly what that VS standard is. And so with the HD liposuction, it just goes in and it says HD because it's very high definition, like to sculpt out abs and things that you can see in these photos. Obviously, the stomach is a really popular place people do lipo. You can do a thigh gap with liposuction. You can do an arm lift to get those teeny tiny little arms, and not just tiny arms that actually look like you are working out like twice a day, which is pretty sick. So it makes sense that if these models are already really naturally tiny, that they would just do a little touching up through the HD liposuction, which again is something that it is rumored that Kendall Jenner may have done when she was told that she was too fat to walk for Victoria's Secret. But again, I don't have any proof of that. And a common misconception is that there would be significant scarring that would have come from HD lipo. But actually, the marks, what they do when they do your stomach and your legs, it's a tiny little mark that they do through your pubic area. Even the tiniest little underwear could hide that. As well as for the arms, they do it through your armpit, so you really can't tell at all. And so it's completely undetectable, and recovery really isn't that bad. You know, typically it takes about a week or two of recovery time, and definitely after like 2.5, 3 weeks, you're good to go with exercise, all of your normal activities. So it's something that really easily would fit into any busy model's schedule and also be really undetectable. But it's not just that reduction of fat that gives you that whole Victoria's Secret angel physique. What it also is very round and perky features. And yeah, I'm talking about the boobies and the butt. It's always just like this perfect little that just looks so good. And while there are a lot of Victoria's Secret models who obviously had a breast augmentation, put implants in, others will just use fat grafting. Because naturally, if you're this skinny, you're just not gonna be born with big boobs and a plump butt. You just, really, what are the odds of that? Anatomically, it makes no sense. So what you can do is through HD lipo, the fat that they've removed, let's say from your legs, from your stomach, they can insert that into your breasts to do a breast lift to make them look more perky here. You can do it in your butt. And again, this is all really undetectable because what they do, especially with the Brazilian butt lift, is they'll do it through the cannula, through the crease of where the buttocks is, so that where the crease is, you wouldn't see it. And even if you bent over, it literally is like the size of a little mole. So it would look like you have a freckle on the crease of your butt. No one would ever think that you got a butt lift. And again, I just want to reiterate this because being a model is still really hard work, and you can't just do lipo and look like a Victoria's Secret model. I mean, you still have to do the extremely extensive exercise routines. You have to follow a really strict dieting protocol. You still, I mean, genetically you have to be gifted being 5'10" or taller to be able to even qualify for all of these things. So it's not like it's not hard work, and also a little piece of the genetic lottery. Actually, there's a surgery that you can do that's becoming really popular that's actually changing your height through like stints in your legs. And if you want me to do a more in-depth video on that, I would absolutely love to do that. Leave a comment below because that's actually something I would be really interested in diving deep into. But regardless of, you know, the exercise, the eating, I'm just saying it's always possible to achieve that. I'm not condoning that or saying that you should, because honestly, it sounds like a pretty miserable lifestyle. But technically you could. And if you want to check out the kinds of plastic that I've had, you can click the video above, or if you go in the description box, I've listed all my videos there because I am so open and super honest about that, because I don't know why there's such a taboo about it. See, I'm trying to act like I'm frowning, but I can't because my Botox won't let me. You can kind of tell that I'm frustrated. I just think, why hide it? Why make it a secret? I just think it's a lot more empowering to say, yeah, you know what? I really didn't like my face and I changed it and now I like it. So I don't have any shame about that. I'm just happy to be me, whatever version of me I've paid to look like. Now, this video just covers lipo, but there's a lot of other beauty treatments and procedures that are non-invasive that I know that a lot of the Victoria's Secret models do. So if you're curious about learning more about some other skin procedures, body procedures, face procedures that aren't as invasive, then just leave a comment below, and I would also love to do a video diving really in depth into that. So just let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your love and support, and remember that you are beautiful, you are loved, and you are amazing. Until next time, see you.